As political activists or artists, we're supposed to question everything.
The world's most notorious illegal artist. Stay with us.
When I was a young artist, I made art, and then I realized that making art was only half the equation, that, somehow people had to see it. First, I started making underground comic books and disseminating them at the malls in Illinois where I lived, and then later I figured out it's easier just to put stuff on the streets where people are. I was stuck in traffic in Dallas, going to my job in Dallas when I was first in college. And I just saw these billboards. I was stuck looking at them. I thought it'd be a lot more interesting if there was art on them. It all kind of clicked, It's like I got a captive audience. They're stuck in traffic. It's big. I like big. Like when I worked at the billboard companies, I just worked there for a while just to kind of understand what they were doing. I thought it would be helpful for what I was doing. I actually got the job by showing them a bunch of illegal billboards I did in Dallas, and then I went to Austin, different company. They thought all those illegal billboards I made in Dallas were legit. They didn't know. And it wasn't until I moved to Austin and moved in with a bunch of political activists. They had a group called Earth First, and they saw me doing the billboards and said, "Why you have this incredible access to the public that we don't have, and wouldn't it be great if you did politics on the billboards?" And that's when things kind of flipped for me, just using them as a place to display my art or, do kind of interventions to actually having some kind of message bigger than, look at me. Initially, I would work at night because it just seems like it's illegal. You should probably do it at night. But at some point I thought, these guys are all criminals. I'm a criminal. It's like, what if we just did it during the day? What if you got it like an orange vest and, did it during the day? Then it would look like that's your job. And that actually worked well for years because, sometimes the police would just stop and watch you. And then everybody's like, oh shit, we're busted. It's like, no, we're not busted. They think we work here. Now, if we all get down and run, then we're busted. So that actually worked well for years until we started dressing weird and doing more aggressive billboards, and then we all got second-degree felonies. Yeah. Well, I quit doing illegal billboards 7 years ago or a little more, and there's a 7-year statute of limitations on doing crimes because, most of my life I was always under threat of arrest. So like somebody would call, I'm on my way to the studio and they say, I don't know, there's a bunch of guys with suits standing in front of your studio, and say, well, maybe they're collectors or maybe they're detectives. And the thing that they can do with you is they can photograph you doing all these billboards and ignore them and wait till they built this huge case against you. So you don't know if they're really paying attention or if they're not. As political activists or artists, we're supposed to question everything, like everything. And it's exhausting to question everything, but you should just look at everything and why is it like that? And is that the best way for it to be? Do you know what I mean? Why should a company own 1 million billboards and I own none? Like a kid may think, why did my parents own nothing? And why is everything, some private space where I'm not allowed to go do whatever I want? Because my impetus is just to go run free in my society. And it's like, we don't have freedom, we have the illusion of freedom, and I'd rather have the real thing. I don't think we would have anything resembling the civilization we have now without resistance, People are going to be greedy, people are going to take shortcuts, people are going to pollute, and people are going to fight against it. A lot of it is really investing in the youth. But at the same time, when we were young, we went out and protested and did things that, the people with mortgages and stuff didn't do, So they kind of depended on us to save the world, and now we're depending on the next generation to save the world. I think it's just kind of like, it's like sports. You have to keep introducing new players. They wear out, you put in new players. So I think it's just the most beautiful part of the human spirit. It's something that when we lose that, we're completely fucked. My plan is to go back to doing the billboards, once I feel like my kids are stable and they can survive on their own. Because, if I have to go to prison, I don't want to fuck them up. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of people become political activists thinking that we're going to somehow be rewarded, or maybe you see somebody like Abbie Hoffman, people waving his flag, 30 years after his death. But mostly it's a thankless job. You have to do this because it's the right thing, not because, everybody's going to love you. They're probably going to hate you.